Yo, what's going on guys? It's G Miners here, and in this video we have the best farm I think I've ever seen in Destiny for getting endgame level gear quickly and easily. With this, we are going to be farming Artifice armor by clearing the first encounter in the Duality Dungeon, which takes around 30 seconds on average to do each run, which is going to give Artifice armor with pretty solid stat rolls. Plus, you get a ton of Ascendant Shards and Enhancement Prisms, and Lingering Dread can drop from this encounter too, which is a pretty solid stasis special grenade launcher. I know in the Duality loot tables, it says only the helmets, arms, and boots drop from Ghalran, but every armor piece has been confirmed to drop here. I got some class items, and one of the guys I was running with got a chest piece a few times, so you can get each piece of armor, which is massive because that means you only ever need to farm this encounter for a full set of the best armor in the game. I'm going to be going over the method to clear this encounter in less than 30 seconds, and then also go over high stat rolled armor, how it works, and how you should be farming, along with why Artifice armor is more important than ever before. If you enjoy the video, make sure to drop a like and sub down below real quick, and let's start with the farming method first. All you need for this is one player to have the Ghalran checkpoint on master difficulty for the Duality Dungeon. If you guys don't have one, no worries, it's the first encounter, and you can get there in less than 5 minutes starting fresh. Once you have that checkpoint, make sure to just keep it on a spare character. After you have the checkpoint, then just shoot the bell to go into the Nightmare Realm and come to this location on screen. After that, you simply need to bait Ghalran off the map, and that's it. You just need to make sure he falls off and he will die, eventually completing the encounter for you. That said, here are some tips for baiting him off the map. It seems to work best when one player does this. In this clip, you can see I get aggro straight away, then from here, just back up slightly over the edge before he does his jumping slam attack, which you can see him preparing when he stops running towards you, and then if done correctly, he should jump straight off the edge. In a lot of situations, even if he doesn't jump off and do that attack, if you hover over the edge when he's close to you, he'll end up just walking off anyways. It's super easy to get the hang of this, and then just have one person keep doing this each and every run. To make this even faster, we would start the encounter as the player who had the checkpoint left to join back on their main character. Then by the time they loaded in, the encounter was done and the chest spawned for them. All you need is to see the blue prompt at the bottom of the screen showing that they joined before you complete the encounter, then rinse, wash, repeat. Artifice armor is super important now for two reasons. First, if you have a full set or even just 4 pieces of armor and your exotic of choice, there's going to be 12 to 15 free stat points. This is great for filling out triple 100 builds if needed, and makes triple 100s possible without messing with fragments. On top of this, it also gives great customization of your stat distribution. In situations where you're at 99 points for a specific stat, using an Artifice stat boost instead of an entire mod fills this gap. The rolls that I got in just 30 minutes of farming were a 62 roll, 61, 64, and a 65, and I did also delete a few extra boots and a bunch of bonds since I didn't really need either of those. But overall, I would say the rolls are fine. I've seen a lot of people saying the rolls were trash now, but I never got anything lower than a 60. The last part of this video is going to cover how stat buckets work and how you should be using ghost mods to efficiently farm for armor. I would highly recommend watching this so that you understand at least the bare minimum so you don't waste time farming the wrong way. Starting with legendary armor pieces, the highest roll you can currently get in the game is going to be a total of 68 stat points. That said, the grouping, aka buckets of the stats, control where these points go. On a perfect 68 roll, these will be split half and half, where 34 points go into the top grouping and 34 go into the bottom grouping. The top group being mobility, resilience, and recovery, and the bottom being discipline, intellect, and strength, where each of these main 6 stats must have a minimum of 2 points at all times, making the max that any one stat can have 30 points. On rolls that aren't perfect 68 stat rolls, stats and where they go will come down a lot more to plugs, which isn't super important to know, it's just a random term, and I do have a full video going over this in detail, but since the armor drops we're getting here are 60 to 68 typically, they will follow the example I listed pretty well. That being said, these groupings make it effectively impossible to get triple 100 stats in the same grouping because there are only so many points to go around, which means depending on the stats you want to run on a build, this will determine which ghost mod you want to run. The basic rule of thumb is going to be to pick 3 stats that you want. 2 stats can be in the same grouping, and then the final stat should be in a different grouping. After deciding this, the ghost mod you should be equipping should be for the stat that is in its own group. The setup I always run on my warlock is as follows. I want resilience, recovery, and discipline. Since discipline is alone in its own group, I throw on a discipline focusing ghost mod. Then from here, I save any armor drop that has high resil, high recovery, or a decent amount of both, and then use these to build an armor set. Every armor piece by default should have a pretty good amount of discipline unless you're super unlucky. After all of this, masterworking, adding armor mods, and equipping Artifice stat boosts will allow you to maximize and control your full stat potential. Understanding stats can be confusing, so if you guys do have any questions, feel free to ask them in the comments below. And I do also stream most nights, so if you want to stop by over there and get a quick answer to a question, my Twitch will also be linked below, along with my Discord if you want to ask questions over there too. Anyways, that's all for this video. As always, have a good one, guys. Peace.